So here is the fourth question. A particle's velocity changes from 2I cap plus 3j cap meters per second to 2I cap minus 3j cap meters per second. In 2 seconds, the acceleration in meters per second square is. So in this problem, he has given the change in velocity and he is asking to calculate what is the acceleration. So here I cap, j cap denotes the unit vector along the x and y axis. So if you have the coordinates x, y, z and this point is origin. So unit vector along x axis is known as I cap, unit vector along y axis is known as j cap, unit vector along z axis is known as k cap. So the velocity of the particle is given in terms of I and j cap. So the initial velocity was 2I cap plus 3j cap, and the final velocity Vf is given as 2I cap minus 3j cap. So time is also given, so time is 2 seconds. So this is the data which the question gives us. So we know initial velocity as 2I cap plus 3j cap, final velocity as 2I cap minus 3j cap, and the time interval in which the velocity of the particle changes is 2 seconds. So now let us find the acceleration. Acceleration is what? Change in velocity by time interval, so which is delta v by delta t. So delta v can be written as final velocity minus initial velocity divided by delta t. So from the above data we know the final velocity is 3I. So Vf is 2I cap minus 3j cap minus 2I cap plus 3j cap, which is divided by 2 seconds. So 2I cap minus 3j cap minus 2I cap minus 3j cap, which is divided by 2. So here 2I cap minus 2I cap it gets cancelled. What remains is minus 6j cap by 2 meters per second square. So here is the another question. A particle accelerates from 6 meters per second to 18 meters per second in 12 seconds. So the body is getting accelerated from 6 meters per second to 18 meters per second in a time interval 12 seconds, assuming the acceleration to be uniform. So here he is assuming the given acceleration or the acceleration that we get from this is uniform. So calculate the acceleration and the distance covered in 12 seconds. So we have to calculate acceleration and distance in 12 seconds. So initial velocity of the car is how much? It is 6 meters per second. So that is given here. So initial velocity is 6 meters per second. So the final velocity is also given. V can be written as 18 meters per second. So from the question, the initial velocity and final velocity is given, and time is also given. So time is equals to 12 seconds. Initial velocity, final velocity and time is given to us, and we are supposed to calculate the acceleration. So from the kinematic equations, so if we see all this data, then we can use V is equals to U plus AT as our equation to calculate the acceleration. So here V is given, U is given and T is given. What is not given is acceleration. So from this kinematic equation, we can find what is the acceleration of the particle or the car in 12 seconds. So if you substitute, V is 18, U is 6 plus A multiplied by 12. So if you take 6 to this side, 18 minus 6 is 12, which is equals to 12A. 12 gets cancelled. What remains is 1 meters per second square. So the acceleration of the car in time t is equals to 12 seconds can be calculated using this equation. Now next is, he is asking the distance covered in 12 seconds. So S is unknown to us. So we have found the acceleration. So you can use the value of this acceleration in the second bit to solve the problem. So acceleration is again known to us, 1 meters per second square. So now you have initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration and time. What is unknown to us is, that is distance covered in 12 seconds. So from all this data, we can use another kinematic equation. S is equals to ut plus half at square. Why are we using this equation? Why not this equation? Because we are supposed to calculate S in the second bit, and we know the initial velocity, we know the time interval, we know the acceleration, and we don't need final velocity to calculate S. So all the terms which are there in equation are known to us, hence we can use this equation to calculate the S. So substitute the value of the terms. U is 6 meters per second multiplied by 12 plus half. A is how much? A is 1 meters per second square, and T square is there, that is 12 multiplied by 12. So 12 into 12 is 12 square. Now 2 ones, 2 6. So 6 multiplied by 12 plus 6 multiplied by 12. So you have two terms. So 6 multiplied by 12 is 72 plus this is again 72. 7 sevens, 7 plus 7 is 14, and the rest 2 plus 2 4. So 144 is the answer. So 144 meters, because we are calculating the distance here. So distance traveled is 144 meters. So here acceleration is 1 meters per second square. So using the value of acceleration, we found what is the distance that is covered in 12 seconds. So without calculating acceleration, you cannot calculate the distance. So first try to solve the first bit, then you will understand the acceleration of the particle. Then you solve for S, then you will get the distance traveled in 12 seconds. So here for both part A and B, we are using the kinematic equations to calculate acceleration and distance. So if you are thorough with the kinematic equations, then you can easily solve the problems in motion in a straight line chapter. So be thorough with kinematic equations. So there is another question which is given here. A bullet moving with velocity of 100 meters per second strikes a wooden plank. It penetrates the plank to a depth of 20 centimeters before coming to stop. Now calculate the average retardation. Retardation is opposite to acceleration. So if you have A is equals to 1 meters per second, then retardation is exactly opposite of that. So retardation will give the negative value. So if you increase velocity, then you will get the acceleration. So if velocity is decreasing, then you will get the retardation. So retardation is nothing but it is opposite to the concept of acceleration. So now here we have to calculate the average retardation of the bullet while passing through the plank. So first initial velocity of the bullet is given. So bullet moving with velocity. So u here denotes the initial velocity. U is 100 meters per second. Now what will happen? This bullet will strike a wooden plank. So it penetrates the plank to a depth of 20 centimeters. So from this we can say the distance travelled by it is 20 centimeters. So here u is in meters per second and s is in centimeters. So you have to convert, or you have to make two datas in one unit. So this is in meters, this is in centimeters. So if you calculate with these two different units, then answer which you get will be wrong. So either you convert this to meters or this to centimeters. So let us convert 20 centimeter to meters. So 20 centimeters is equals to 0.2 meters. Now next is, so when the bullet penetrates, or after the depth of 20 centimeters, the velocity of the bullet will be equals to 0. Why it is 0? Because it comes to rest, or it stops. When a bullet stops, the velocity of the bullet will be equals to 0. So initial velocity is given and the distance is given, and final velocity is also given to us. So from all these three datas, we can say that we can use one among the kinetic equation. So that equation can be v square is equals to u square plus 2as. So here we are asked to calculate average retardation of the bullet while passing through the plank. So we know v and u and s. So from this equation we can calculate a. So let us substitute the values. V is 0, u is 100 meters per second and 100 square plus 2 multiplied by a multiplied by 0.2. So if you send, or 2 multiplied by a, 0.2 is equals to 100 multiplied by 100. So 2 multiplied by 0.2 is a 0.4, and this can be written as 10,000. Now since you have sent this to this side, there will be negative and negative here. So a can be written as minus 10,000 divided by 0.4. So the answer will be equals to minus 25,000 meters per second square. So hence retardation of the bullet is 25,000 meters per second square. So using again the kinematic equations, we found what is the average retardation of the bullet. So here we got the value in negative, so we cannot say this as acceleration. So this is retardation, there is a negative here. So negative value says the retardation of the particle and the positive value will give the acceleration. So what we have done here, we know that bullet is moving with certain velocity and it strikes the wooden plank and it goes to the depth of 20 centimeter. So the distance traveled by it is 20 centimeter and final velocity after reaching this depth should be equals to 0 because the bullet is coming to rest. So the final velocity of bullet is 0. Now with this data, we know the equation b square is equals to u square plus 2as. So if you substitute all the datas which are given in the above question, so that is v square is equals to u square plus 2as, which is equals to 0 is equals to 100 whole square plus 2 multiplied by a multiplied by 0.2. 0.2 here is from the data s. Now if you solve this mathematics, then you get the value of a in negative. So here negative sign denotes the retardation of the bullet. Next question is, a ball is thrown vertically upward with an initial velocity 19.6 meters per second. So he has directly mentioned it as initial velocity. So we can take u is equals to 19.6 meters per second. Neglecting air resistance. So here we are neglecting the air resistance which is offered by the air or wind. The maximum height reached. First we have to calculate the maximum height that is reached by the ball when it is thrown vertically upward. So here we are neglecting the air resistance. And B is the time of ascent and C is the time of descent before it reached the ground. So how much time it has taken to reach the maximum height and the time for which time of ascent needs to be calculated and time of descent is also to be calculated. So when this ball is thrown vertically upward, the initial velocity u is equals to 19.6 meters per second. So the final velocity will be what? So after reaching the certain height, the velocity of the ball will become 0 and then it comes back to the ground. So final velocity is 0 meters per second and the acceleration due to gravity is given. So g or is equals to a can be denoted as 9.8 meters per second square. So for maximum height to calculate, so we have A for upward motion, so G will be equals to what? Minus 9.8 meters per second square because the ball is traveling against to the acceleration due to gravity. So we have to take the value of G for upward motion as negative. Now you have V, you have U, you have G. So from this we can find the height. So V square is equals to U square plus 2AS. We can use this kinematic equation. Why? Because here there is a displacement. So height is nothing but the distance or the displacement that is traveled by the ball. So S can be taken as h. So we know V square, we know U square, and we know A, that is G. So if you substitute the values, V square is 0 square, U square is how much? 19.6 whole square plus 2 multiplied by minus 9.8, and which is multiplied by the height S. So here 19.6 whole square minus, so this is again 19.6 S. So if you substitute or if you send this to this side, then it will be 19.6 S is equals to 19.6 multiplied by 19.6. So 19.6 and 19.6 will get cancelled. S is equals to 19.6 meter. So this is the maximum height that a ball has went when it is thrown vertically upward with a velocity 19.6 meters per second. So we have used the kinematic equation V square is equals to U square plus 2AS to calculate the maximum height. So next for B we have to calculate the time of ascent. So let T1 be the time required to reach the maximum height. So that is known as time of ascent. So here we have to find the time T1. So from the equation V is equals to U plus AT, we can find the time T. So here V is known to us, U is known to us, and A is again known to us. So if you substitute V as 0, U is given to us 19.6 plus A, we have to take minus 9.8 because it is moving opposite to the direction of acceleration due to gravity. So A is minus 9.8 meters per second square, which is multiplied by T1. So 9.8 T1 is equals to 19.6 U, that is 19.6. So T1 can be given as 19.6 divided by 9.8. So if you do this mathematics, then you will get T1 is equals to 2 seconds. So we have found the maximum or the time taken to reach the maximum height. So here T1 denotes the time required to reach the maximum height or the time of ascent. So now you have to calculate the time of descent. C is, so now let T2 be the time required to fall back to ground. So now here you have T2. T2 gives the time of descent, or T2 be the time required to fall back to the ground from the maximum height position. So T2 gives the time required to fall back. Now you know U, you know V, you know T1, and you know acceleration. So now we have to calculate T2. But we know what is S, that is maximum height reached is 9.6 meters. So from this data we can use S is equals to ut plus half at square, and S is known to us, which is 19.6 meters. U is again 0 because the ball, when it reaches the maximum height, the velocity of the ball will become 0. So initial velocity of the ball is 0 here, which is multiplied by t plus half. A is plus 9.8 meters per second square because the direction of the ball, which is falling downward, is in the direction of acceleration due to gravity, and this is multiplied by t2 square. So this term goes off. 19.6 is equals to 9.8 divided by 2 t2 square. So now if you write for t2 square, that will be equals to 19.6 multiplied by 2 divided by 9.8. So t2 can be written as root of 19.6 multiplied by 2 divided by 9.8. So from this root value we get t2 is equals to 2 seconds. So this is time of descent. So if you see, t1 is equals to t2, so the time of ascent is equals to the time of descent. So we have found the maximum distance or maximum height that is reached by the ball when it is thrown vertically upward with an initial velocity 19.6 meters per second. So here we are neglecting the air resistance. So when you throw a ball vertically upwards, so there is no resistance that is offered to the ball during its motion. So to calculate the height or the maximum height that is shown by the ball, we are using v square is equals to u square plus 2as. So in order to use any kinematic equations in your problems, first try to understand what are the data that is given to you. So if you write the data which is given in the question separately, then you will understand which kinematic equation to be used, because there are basically 3 equations. So in that, so for every question or for every problem you cannot use the same kinematic equation. So if you have data which is written separately, then you can compare this data with the 3 kinematic equations which you have. So you have 3 equations like v is equals to u plus at, v square is equals to u square plus 2as, and s is equals to ut plus half at square. So sometimes you get confused between which formula to use. So if you have written your data separately, then it will be easy for you to understand which equation to use. So if you see, for first problem or the first bit, I have used v square is equals to u square plus 2as, and for second I have used v is equals to u plus at, and for third I have used s is equals to ut plus half at square. So from the data you will understand which equation to use, and this is important to be learnt. So with the data we understood what is the maximum height that ball has reached after throwing vertically upwards. So that came around 19.6. And next was time of ascent. So to calculate that, we have used v is equals to u plus at, and then we have substitute value of a as minus 9.8, because the direction of acceleration due to gravity is opposite to the direction of ball which is moving upward. So the acceleration due to gravity is in this direction and the ball is moving in this direction. So since A is opposite to the motion of the ball, we can take it as negative. So if ball falls in this direction and acceleration is also in this direction, then you can take A as positive value. So if it is in opposite direction, then you should take it as negative value. And then at last we found the time of descent by substituting A value as 9.8 plus 9.8. So we found T2, T1 and H.